She's April.
And she's Molly.
And we are
The Book Besties.
possibly, perhaps, just change a few terms you know are going to be difficult for us.
And I lived in the UK.
Using the faulty medical system and knowing that the doctor does not have a lot of time.
You can't have this unrealistic shit.
This was fine, but what's it missing?
In a book where two gay men fall in love, one falls for the pussy.
This is the bullshit flag. We're going to fly that. Better. Hello.
Oh, man. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride. Hello, my lovies. Even if you're in the closet, you can still celebrate. Just do it quietly.
Even if you're an ally, you can still celebrate.
Yes. Yes, this is our month, gang. It's for all of us to remember where we came from, where we're going, and what we need to do.
I always thought like the A stood for ally, but does it stand for asexual now? Is there still a letter for ally?
I think that's why we've added the plus, right? Because there's just so many letters now that we've run out of space on the header.
Okay.
Because we'd become a run-on sentence eventually. We would become a run-on sentence eventually. So we are really close to the end of summer here. We're getting really close to the end of the school year here.
Yeah, us too. I think the boys have just a couple weeks left. Sammy's birthday's this week.
Yeah. We're due for, 8 more school days? 5 more school days? I don't know, something weird like that.
I think the kids still have a couple of weeks. We get out late here, but we don't start until after Labor Day.
Right.
So.
I broke a hose today. Trying to fill the pool for Matt. The little knob things to turn the hose on.
My brain reset and I was trying to think hoe, like a hoe for the garden. And I was like, but she said a hose, so that has to be water. And so my brain just reset.
In your defense, I've been talking a lot about my garden lately.
You have.
I've been talking a lot about my garden lately. I've been working hard on it, and I've actually been able to do things outside, which has been a huge accomplishment for me. Huge for me. So I sent a picture to group chat yesterday where I was able to clear a good section of ground coverage that we've had in the pool area, which I have not been able to work on in a long time.
I could never do that these days.
No.
I'm really proud of you.
Unfortunately.
I went to the ortho surgeon for the follow-up after they've tried all these other things, and now I'm having surgery over the summer.
I am just glad he's finally I guess, we have to.
Yeah, I mean, at least I won't miss any episodes. I took off some time this season, and because we don't film over the summer, it should be fine. But Nurse Katie and I are still going to do Smut Girl Summer. But I'm in a lot of pain today because I just saw him a few days ago and he poked. Is this where it hurts?
No.
How about here? How about here?
I hate when
How about we just assume that all of the places are where it hurts and you stop poking me, dude?
Yeah, seriously. Matt, so we just celebrated our 17-year wedding anniversary.
That's so cool. We're about to celebrate 14.
Nice. We, Matt scheduled massages and a nice afternoon out. And my masseuse was an OG Asian lady who's climbing on the bed, rubbing into you kind of thing. And she's like, "Oh, you're so tense. Oh, you're so tense." I'm like, no, my body's made that way. I'm not tense. That's just me being broken. And she's like, you sit wrong. You do this wrong. She's just telling me everything I'm doing wrong. And as she's doing it, she's doing all this hard pressure. I have bruises. Head to toe bruises.
Why didn't you tell her it was too hard?
Because it didn't hurt. It felt great. Because she's working out all these inflammation muscles. I get really bad inflammation in my forearms. I get knots in my forearms. I have a massive bruise here from her. I get inflammation and issues of tension on the outsides of my knees. So she had to work out those. It's stupid, weird places. It's so dumb. It's
Mm.
so dumb. So, since we are celebrating Pride, I can do it. Happy Pride, y'all. Happy Pride, y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna do three
Thrice.
queer books this month, and we're gonna start with this one right here, 10 Things That Never Happened by Alexis Hall, who
Mm-hmm.
is the author of the boyfriend material series that we read in our first Pride month. We read the
Mm-hmm.
first boyfriend material. We loved it.
We loved it.
Husband material. Did you read the sequel, Husband
I
material?
never got to husband material.
So I
I
read it.
wanted
It
to.
was not as good. I was super disappointed in the ending. But
Really?
the third book in that series, I think it's called Father Material, comes out
Mm.
maybe this year or soonish. But this is a new series, 10 Things That Never Happened. And there will be some crossover between the two because they both take place in London and,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So would you
That
like a
kind of stuff.
synopsis?
I would love a
All right.
synopsis.
Sam is the manager of a bed and bath wholesale retailer in Sheffield.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Forrest, the owner of the company, has decided that Sam is ineffective at his job. While
Mm.
Jonathan requires Sam to come to London to shadow him, things take a nasty tumble into a shower display. Jonathan may have caused Sam's concussion by firing Sam and his entire staff and then backing him into a shower. But Sam has taken the accident one step further by convincing Jonathan that not only does Sam have a concussion, he also has
Amnesia.
amnesia. In an effort, based on the recommendation of the super busy NHS, Sam becomes a live-in guest in Jonathan's over-the-top mansion in London, where he continues to fake amnesia in an effort to convince Jonathan to let him and his staff keep their jobs. Over the course of a fortnight, Sam has seen a new side to Jonathan, met his family, and helped plan the annual Christmas party for the entire company. But when Sam kisses Jonathan, their relationship begins to shift. Real feelings develop, and Sam begins to realize that faking amnesia was a bad call.
Mm. Just maybe.
Just a little
Just possibly.
bit.
Just a
All right.
smidge.
Let's jump into the questions because I
Yeah.
know we both have a lot of feelings about this
I
book.
have so many words. So
So
many
many
words.
words. Good, because we have to fill an hour of content. We read Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall in season 2. We both really liked that one. How did you
Mhm.
feel this one holds up?
I do not feel like this was written by the same person.
I completely agree with you.
This, I, other than the cover, they have nothing in common.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
There is nothing in common other than the fact that the same person that wrote that book and the other book have their name on the cover, and the cover have the same color style theme.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
the only thing in common.
Yep.
Oh, and our characters are queer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Other than that, I thought this was a new author to pod. I'm not even gonna lie. You could have
Yep.
taken like I could have listened to this book straight with no like title or author name, and I'd
Mm-hmm.
be like, "Who's this new author?"
Right.
Yeah.
And like in Boyfriend Material, you have two people who like they're fake dating, which is a trope I love.
Hmm.
Um, and they care about each other. Like they have a history that isn't built on I mean, they have it's enemies to lovers
Hmm.
fake dating, but
Right.
these two their history is different. I got the
Yeah.
impression from reading it that Jonathan was a lot older than Sam. But
Yeah.
they're the same age and it's weird and I don't think these
Like
two would ever like each other and I do feel like where
it
in
worked.
boyfriend material, I feel like that relationship progressed naturally. Like I
Yeah.
feel like we knew that the one of the characters always thought the other character was pretty cute and like
Hmm.
had asked him out once before. Um in this, I never got the point. Even when Sam kisses them, I'm like, what's happening?
Weird.
Like they're not
Well,
why would they be into each other? They're not into each other.
this this storyline doesn't feel 100% thought out.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't. It feels like he fell asleep with Overboard on one night and was just
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I love Goldie Hawn. Let's honor her
Mm-hmm.
and give her a film she'll love, a book she'll
And
love.
and this is Overboard
It
is
does.
referenced
It
in there.
definitely
Yeah.
references Overboard,
Yeah.
but like that's the extent of like I like him as a writer. Like this does not take away from his skill. his
Mhm.
talent or his ability. I
Mhm.
just don't think this was the story, man.
Mhm.
This was not the story.
This was not the story to follow up the hugely successful boyfriend material.
No.
Now, Alexis Hall also writes historical
Mhm.
romance, and that's not all queer, I don't
No.
think, but I
I
could
don't
be wrong about that.
think. I'll look. I'll look.
But this was material was like hugely successful. It was a commercial hit in the US. It was TikTok famous and
Right.
Bookstagram famous. And so yeah, so to follow up with this, and this is the start of the next series, like I just was like,
I I
what
was
is this?
it felt no, it is queer.
All of it is?
All of his work is queer.
Okay. I
Or
just
her
remember
or
seeing a
theirs.
cover of like someone in a very
Something Fabulous is definitely
yeah, but there's like a
A Lady
woman
for a Duke
yeah.
is straight, it looks like.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Something Spectacular looks like it's queer.
Glitterland is queer.
It's like a yeah, like we have everybody, allies included in his Alexis Hall's list.
Yeah.
But
So I wanted to like this, Molly. I really did.
I did
I mean, we
too.
were both excited for it to be on
I
pod because we liked boyfriend material so
I
much.
was when they when we we bleh, when you added him, I was like, cool.
Hmm.
I'm ready for this. I was really excited. And I honestly thought this was husband material. I was like, yes, I didn't get a chance to read this last year. And then I was like, oh, it's a different Alexis Hall. Cool.
Hmm.
And then it just,
I didn't hit. Let's go into the second question because this is a part of the reason for me why it didn't hit, which is this book is very British. Like there are dialects mentioned and directions and geography and neighborhoods that are things that we just don't really know as
wait,
Americans.
like,
And so, what did you think about that?
okay, if I have to Google,
Mm-hmm.
if I have to Google,
Mm-hmm.
I am out of your world.
Mm-hmm.
I am not in your world. And the fact that very early they were talking about, I don't even know what the phrasing was, but it was like some sort of breakfast hash, something and something, right? They
Mm-hmm.
call it something and something. And I was like, okay, this is weird. Why are we making this huge whole conversation about breakfast hash? And like, they spend a lot more time talking about things I wouldn't think British people talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It was very British. It was very British. It was very British.
Yeah.
Very British.
And I lived in the UK for I lived in Britain for
For a
6
hot
months.
minute.
So
Yeah.
I did know some of the references, but like I not a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, it
It
was
was
very
hard.
British. And to be fair, the author is British. It takes
Right.
place in Britain. Like it's okay that it's British. I just felt like this one didn't translate to an American audience as
Here's the
well.
thing. If we can change Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone to Harry Potter and whatever, because that
Sorcerer's Stone, yeah.
yeah, like they changed the title of Harry Potter for
Mhm.
the Americans. If we can just smidge some titles, maybe if you're going to try to sell internationally to one of the biggest reading markets in the world, who is
Mhm.
English speaking like you, but also has a different dialect in English, possibly, perhaps, just change a few terms you know are going to be difficult for us.
I mean, I would have been okay with the terminology. It was the
It was,
dialects
it was
and
excessive.
and
It felt
the geography and the things that like it just didn't translate to me.
mm-mm. It was excessive. And there was a
Hmm.
lot of time wasted on things that didn't make sense to me. So,
It reminded me of when we read What an Aisling.
yes. Yes. What a complete
Because
ashling or assling. Yeah,
oh yeah, I thought it was Aisling is how you say her name.
I don't fucking
Yeah, it was Aisling. Like to me, that was an example of that where it just didn't quite
translate.
translate. We couldn't really grasp all the humor in that.
No, and we couldn't get like I get the humor. I get the cutesiness. I get the family camaraderie. I get all that stuff, but like it's just it fell flat for me in so many ways that his writing is usually much more like defined for me, and I give him usually 4s, 5s, but this is a solid 3 for me.
It was
And
for
I
me too.
struggled to give him that.
It was a 3 for me too, which is brings me to my next point. Fake amnesia. Does this concept work?
This storyline was not thought out.
Not at all.
This storyline was not thought out at all. Like, I get in the UK things aren't sold the same as in here, but you're telling me they sell shower curtains, towels, bathtubs, and mattresses in the same store?
That would happen though.
Would it?
IKEA.
Okay, IKEA. You're right. IKEA. Okay. I was thinking more like Bed Bath and Beyond kind of
No,
thing.
I thought it was basically like an IKEA, but like
Oh,
a local.
I was picturing like Lowe's with extra stuff or like
Mm,
that kind of thing. And I was struggling for placement of that, so that didn't help. And then I was just struggling with setting in general for
mm-hmm.
this. And wait, what was the question? Oh my God.
Fake amnesia.
Fake
Does this
amnesia. Okay.
concept work?
So then using the faulty medical system and knowing that the doctor does not have a lot of time and like
Mm-hmm.
that was clever. I
Yeah.
will give the author that. But fake amnesia
My issue with it,
in this day and age, it just doesn't.
my issue with it was Jonathan is a smart guy.
He's really
He
smart.
is a self-made millionaire.
And you're telling me he just
He went to
didn't notice?
private school and went to good colleges, and he just didn't know that amnesia didn't work like that.
Bullshit. This is the bullshit flag. We're gonna
Yeah.
fly that
Yeah.
because no,
It's absolute ridiculousness.
ridiculous.
And there's no way in hell, there's no way in hell that Sam would have moved in with him.
No.
Nobody's contacted Sam, and at one point Jonathan starts to worry, like
Yeah.
why doesn't anybody worried about
Why don't
you?
you have people?
Right.
Well, I don't fucking know. You didn't go
But
through his phone.
right,
Like,
that's what I was gonna say. You open his phone, who's the most contacted, ship him back to Sheffield, and those people can take care of him.
right? Like, come on. Like,
None of this made sense. And
none
then
of it.
towards the end, when they have their
This.
third act breakup, and Sam goes and stays at Jonathan's parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. No.
Mm-mm.
No.
No, it just doesn't. It. It's too unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's too unrealistic.
We have
Even
read some
for
really unrealistic books,
some
but when
really
you are
unreal.
a fiction book that is meant to be realistic fiction, you can't have this unrealistic shit.
This is too unrealistic. You're trying. It's just. This man is a multimillionaire. This man is smarter than most of his family. This man has plotted and planned his whole life, and you're
Mm-hmm.
telling me he falls for a fake amnesia storyline?
It's never.
Or,
Never.
or you're telling me that he is so consumed with his work that he's never noticed anything? I
Nope.
call bullshit.
Yep. All right, the book is essentially enemies to lovers, like boyfriend material. However, in this book, it takes a very long time to get a kiss. And even then, there isn't a relationship truly formed until the very end. Was this slow burn worth the wait?
No.
I agree.
No. They okay, so they either should have had more sexual chemistry and tension from the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, or
Mm-hmm.
they should have just been long friends. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? There was no the only like the first time we got hints they might be like close to getting flirty is when what's his face's parents are like, "Are you dating?"
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time we all were like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
Right.
Right? Like,
Just because they're two gay men and they're in the same house doesn't mean that they're together.
no, that's not how any of this works. Not how any of this works.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I also did not think it was worth the wait. Um, we don't get sex in this book, and
No,
I don't mind that. I don't mind there being a
this sex.
slow burn that
This
doesn't
book
end
didn't
with
need
sex.
sex. This book
No,
didn't need sex.
no, but it needed more chemistry than what it had.
There's no chemistry
No
between these
chemistry.
characters.
I don't believe these two at all. The first time that Jonathan tells Sam not to leave, I'm like, why would you
Oh,
want him to stay? Like, you
like,
seem
who
to enjoy your
cares?
solitary life in your big ass house
I
with too many
honestly think
rooms.
he was only in love with the cat anyway. Like, I think the only reason he really wanted him to stay originally was because he didn't want to lose the cat.
Hmm.
Like, he liked having, excuse me, a companion that wasn't the walls.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell me even this woman, I don't know if this is about to come up, but you're telling me the what's the house cleaner was like siding with him and helping him hide this?
Yeah, no.
No.
It's ironic that in a book where two gay men fall in love, one falls for the pussy.
You really wanted to tell that joke, didn't you?
I really did.
You really wanted to tell that joke.
Did it work?
It works.
Okay.
It works.
Uh,
You
that
wrote
was
that
one of
down
my
as
notes. I came up with that cleverly on the fly. You know. Yeah, so I don't think this was worth the wait either.
no.
All right, so there's a large cast of characters in this book, including the Sheffield branch staff and Jonathan's family. Do you think Alexis Hall did a good job balancing the side characters with the main story?
No.
I was
Like,
actually more interested in the side characters than
I
I
was more
was.
interested in his family
Mm-hmm.
stories, and I was more interested in the Sheffield branch than I was interested in the two male characters.
Yeah, me
There
too.
was more interesting, like, it feels like those people were more developed than the
Yeah,
main characters.
yeah. I
And
want I want those stories. Although I will say that one of the Sheffield branch, the one that kept like spilling everything and like destroying all the property, he reminded me of the character in Boyfriend Material,
Brian, right?
Ryan. He reminded
Brian,
me of that character, or was it Brian? One of those.
Brian. I want to say Brian.
They're the main one of those characters, side characters in Boyfriend Material who like worked in the office with the main
Hmm.
guy, and he like was marrying some like
Yeah. Oh,
Penelope Featherington. I don't
yeah.
know. It was something like crazy, and he was really dumb. Like,
Yes.
they were like the same character.
Right. Like oh, I know what you're talking about. The guy that was like super stupid but was like always was getting married to like one of the smartest people on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they were both like titled.
Yes. Yes. And
Uh,
it's like she's got like Penelope six names. Penelope six names you're talking about.
is that what her name was, or was that the character from the Royal We?
God damn it, there's too many of them. Moving on. But it's just I was more interested in the family. I was more
Mhm,
interested and they were a character as a group, right? They
mhm,
were a character as a group, not a
mhm.
character as separate entities. Same with the
Right.
Sheffield branch. The Sheffield branch was a character as a group. And
Mhm.
we didn't get enough time with either of those groups where
Yeah.
we got to know them well.
Right.
It's not like when we read the holiday one where she kept going back in time.
One Day in December?
That.
No.
Nope.
She did go back in time. That
She
was it
kept
was
You know
it
what I'm
was
talking about? Like she kept reliving the same day. Like the Groundhog Day one. Fuck. Katie's gonna be listening to this and be like, I cannot believe you two don't remember this book. Okay.
well, the opposite of always was the ground what the guy kept repeating the same day, but
The,
I don't think that's one you're thinking of.
no. It was a holiday book where her family.
In the Holidays
There it is. Okay.
by Christina
So
Lauren.
Christina. Oh my God, we suck. Sorry, Christina Lauren. Um, we read a lot of books in our defense gang. A
Right.
lot.
I
And I'm
I'm
like
always
writing
reading two
books
books at once.
and I'm writing. While I'm trying to create fiction while reading
Mhm.
other people's fiction. It's not like we have free time. So what was I saying?
I have no fucking idea. You said
Oh,
something
the
about
characters. I know. Okay, so like in Christina Lauren's book,
Mhm.
there was In a Holidays had a massive group of characters,
Yeah.
a huge, big family,
Yeah.
and each one was distinct. You recognized each family member in that book. You knew who they were
Mm-hmm.
as soon as we started talking about them, even though they weren't always in the scenes.
Yeah.
This this needed that. This needed that, especially so how unfulfilled our main characters were.
Yeah.
We needed more development.
It was almost like he tried to fill out the character of Jonathan's dad by giving that backstory of like Jonathan's dad lost his job and
Yeah.
um Jonathan spent his life trying to be the opposite of his dad, but it just wasn't developed enough, probably because the book was told from Sam's point of view and not
Yeah.
Jonathan's. So
I
we
wonder
don't
if we'd get a different POV.
I
Like if
feel
we
like
got it,
if he would have alternated POVs
it might have
between Sam
helped.
and Alexis, which didn't he do that with boyfriend material? Okay,
He
now I have to
absolutely
check.
did. I want to say he did. I want to say he
By the
did.
way, for those of you watching online, since Molly said the coloring scheme was the same, this is the two books side by side, boyfriend material and 10 things that never happened. But I want to say no. It looks
What?
like they're all from they're
No.
all from Luke's point of view, not Oliver's.
Really? Why did I think Oliver did talk in that?
Yeah, I don't know because I thought so too.
I don't know. It's been a while.
It's
I
been
can't help it. My brain don't work all the time.
2022 is when we did this one.
Couple years ago.
We're finishing season 6. This was from season 2. Oh my gosh,
Wow.
Molly. Side note, I know we can't talk about all of it right now, but season 7 is going to be our fucking greatest season. It's going
Amazing.
to be our greatest season. The things that
Ever.
we have planned, I can't, like,
I
oh
just
my
gotta
gosh.
let, and I just confirmed November.
I know. I know you did.
I just confirmed November. We're teasing, guys, and we're gonna
Oh
keep
man, we
teasing.
have something every single month from
And
September to December. Well, August technically, because one of those things has to happen in August.
I think it's epic. It's a good
It's going to
season.
be our best season.
100%.
You're going to want to read along with that season. You're going to
Yes,
want to
like I
check our
said,
website and social media so that you can
which
actually
we'll
be
do our
reading along.
damnedest to get the solid schedule up before the season releases this year. We'll do our damnedest. I make
Well, we
zero
won't be able
promises.
to do December because we have to.
Yes. Well, I mean, ahead of time.
Yeah.
Ahead of
All
time.
right. So, uh, while we're talking about all this large cast of characters, what the fuck are you doing?
I took my pride flag and made a magic wand with my hair clippies from last week. It's called ADHD. Do you like it? It's so pretty.
I love you.
Hey, you.
You bring joy to my sorrow.
Who could tell that I was 40 years old and still play like a toddler sometimes?
It's fair. Yesterday, Tom and I were scrolling through TikTok together. Like we were watching the same videos on my phone. And this
Mhm.
one came up and it was these two sounds like mixed together. And it was like, if you have
Yeah.
ADHD. And I was like, this is awful. This gives me a headache. And so I changed the video and I was like, wait, does that mean I have ADHD or I don't have ADHD? And Tom goes, it means that at one time you had a concussion and now your brain doesn't function properly. And I was like, I have a headache.
You're like, I've had a couple of those, maybe.
I have had a couple concussions too, actually.
Girl.
The most recent one, the one that I had in
Right.
2022,
True.
actually, I still have issues from that one. And all I did was fall backwards in a chair.
Our lives are interesting, shall we say.
It's the difference between being in your 20s and being in your 40s.
Right?
All right, so let's talk about the audiobook narrator Will Watt. I think
That's
he
a
did a fantastic
mouthful.
job making the accents accessible to American readers. I also really
Yes.
liked his voice. And when I was reading the physical book, I could still hear him. Like because I
Nice.
did dual reading with this. So what were your thoughts on him?
He made it very authentic. It didn't feel like they were fake.
Yeah,
I definitely can. I mean, I am not an expert on accents by any mean, but
right.
I can tell when an American is faking a British accent or
Yeah.
someone else is faking a British accent. This man was not faking anything
Mm-mm.
except
No,
his
but
joy for this book,
it
maybe.
wasn't even just him not faking
Come on, that
accents.
was a good one.
What'd you say?
I said the only thing he was probably faking was his joy for this book, probably.
It wasn't just that he could sound British. It was that he could sound like he was from these specific areas.
Yes, like
So
he
there is
knows
an
the dialects.
Yeah, exactly. There is an author's note in here at the front that says, "I'm aware that a lot of readers are international and therefore might not be super familiar with specific UK dialects." So, like, he knew.
Right. He knew.
The narrator of this book is from Liverpool, and in my head, his narration has a noticeable Scouse accent. If you want to know what that sounds like, check out Wayne Rooney, Celia Black, Mel C, or the Vivian.
Hmm.
To me, I just thought he sounded like the Beatles.
Yeah, that by elves.
Because that's the Liverpool accent I know. I never knew that Mel C from the Spice
Yeah,
Girls was,
yeah. She gets real cognate. You'll notice, like when she like,
but that's Brit. That's London.
right,
Cockney is London.
right, right.
Well, anyway, I
I
really
like
liked
mixing up
him.
my
I feel
accents.
like if you're somebody that listens to this podcast and you
Uh huh.
haven't read the book, and you think that you
Audiobook.
may want to read this one, you need to do it as an audiobook because the
Agreed.
physical book is just really not accessible to those of us that are
No,
outside the
and
UK. And I will say, we do have fans in the UK. We have a few
yeah,
listeners in England, um,
Hillary's in Ireland.
but that's not the UK.
That's not the UK. I was just saying Hillary's in Ireland because I gotta include my Hillary.
She schooled me on that because part of Ireland is part of the UK, but not
My
all of
kid
it.
was on with her kid this morning because it's Saturday, and Saturdays is for calling internationally.
Okay.
They FaceTime for hours. Piper will be on with Courtney from the time she gets up till one of them has to go do whatever is required of them. It'll be 5+ hours of them just catching up.
Well, with the time difference, if Piper called when she woke up,
Yeah.
they could potentially talk until what's her friend's name?
Junior. It's Courtney Jr. She's Courtney Edmondson
She
Jr.
could be going to bed. And that would
Yeah.
just be
Oh,
5 hours.
I will be. Piper will be on the phone with her at night at 7. I'm like, Courtney Edmondson, you go to bed right now, young lady. She's like, I'm
Right.
not tired. I want to talk to Piper. I miss her. And like, it's like, come on, guys. I know you guys have been besties since like you were 6, but can you just sleep?
I mean, to be fair, you and I video chat every week as well.
Yes. But we do it responsibly and within our sleeping parameters.
Do we? There have been a few times that I have wanted to fall asleep during us
Oh, you
filming.
have been so fucking punchy on here. So fucking punchy.
We really should do an episode where we're both.
We gotta do it with when we're neither of us are hosting.
That would be like the worst trick to pull on Katie if we were both stoned and made her host.
First girls trip. That'll be
She'll be like, what the fuck?
fuck. Now we just told her about it
True.
on
Fair.
camera. So
Fair.
congratulations, Katie. You are going to be running Shoni at night.
All right. This book is the first in a new series by Alexis Hall. Do you think you will read the others in this series?
In this series specifically by him? Them? No.
It is a
No.
him. His pronouns are he him.
Okay. I will not be reading Alexis Hall this series again. I will
Yeah.
probably go back to, if I do pick up Alexis Hall, it will be in the boyfriend material series.
I think I will.
This series?
Yeah. But it would really depend on which characters he follows next. If he's following these same two characters, like he
I'm
did for
out.
boyfriend material to husband material, like if the next book in this series is about them, then I don't care because I
Like,
don't believe them as a couple. But
do you know who my favorite
if
character was in this book?
it's like a standalone series
Yeah.
kind of thing, I would do it. Yeah. Who is your favorite character?
The cat.
Oh. I honestly, my favorite character was his mom. Was Jonathan's mom. Just she was just so funny.
They were all like his Jonathan's family was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jonathan's family was hilarious.
Yeah.
That's where all the humor came from in this book.
Yeah. 100%. All right, this book is set at Christmas time, which is the busy season in retail, but also in families. Would this book work at another time of year?
I might have gotten more in the spirit if we did read it in Christmas, maybe? I don't know. We really don't really touch on it. I did find the scene where they're like fighting with, again, this is the family though,
Mm-hmm.
fighting with the tree. And like
Mm-hmm.
they're like, okay, we're just gonna cut it up and put it in different parts of the house.
That was fucking hilarious.
That was hilarious.
The one scene in this book where I felt like Jonathan and Sam had a real connection was when Jonathan bought Sam an ornament to go
Yeah.
on the tree.
Yeah.
Because that was a family tradition. That was the one time that I felt like, oh, okay, they do have a connection.
But again, that felt like friendship. It
Right.
just felt like
Not,
they were building a friendship.
yeah,
This whole
not them
time,
together.
no.
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 Mm-mm.
Nope.
No.
Zero zilch nada.
I don't think I would have, like, reading this book at Christmas wouldn't have made it any better for me. But I don't feel,
I'm willing to give it a try.
but I don't feel like the story itself would have worked at any other time of year.
No, it's not like it had like in a holidays or like where it's the theme, right? We have definitely read books where
Mm-hmm.
one of the major themes is the holiday,
Yeah,
right?
but my point is that at any other time of the year, why would this family be all together? Why would there be such issue with meeting sales goals?
Because the economy's crashing, our family's always in her business, and like we don't need the holidays, right? The holidays just help the storyline move along. Like this could be that he's
Okay.
just hasn't been seen for a while, right? Or it's
Okay.
near his birthday, or he wants to open another store, so he wants to make certain sales goals, and he can't do that as Sheffield's fucking around, right?
Yeah, you
There's a
convinced
couple.
me.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yay
Yeah,
me!
because I couldn't really think of any other time of year that something like this would work, even though I
Gold
don't really know
star.
that I thought the story worked.
Right there. For me.
I'm so proud of you. Give her a gold star, Tom. Let's
Thanks,
put one
babe.
up there for her.
I appreciate it.
At the very end of this book, we discover that Sam's family is all dead. All of them. He is essentially alone. Did this change your view of what he did to Jonathan?
Fuck no. Fuck no. Here's the thing. We just get this gloomy boy aesthetic from him, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't ever really kind of understand why. It's more as he's talking about it, it is insinuated in my brain that his family disowned him because of his queerness. That was
Mm-hmm.
the more of the vibe I was getting, not the fact that everybody was fucking dead.
Oh, I thought they were all dead.
I'd never thought about that for a second.
I thought they
No,
were all dead.
no, I just blame, queerness, because that's a thing still today that people just disown their humans that they've
Mm-hmm.
made for that. So, I don't know. I don't think it was necessary, but I don't know how else to like. I don't know. It just
I just don't know how you bounce back from that kind of lie. Like
yeah.
that relationship, it doesn't feel like it can ever be reconciled. That you
No.
lied about having amnesia so you could trick him. Like
Yeah.
how do you ever
Like
bounce back from that?
I can see forgiving him. I can see letting him leave his job and not
But
pressing
not having a
charges.
relationship.
No, I would never physically trust them ever again.
And I don't feel like they really had a close enough connection that it would have been something. It wasn't like they were in a long-term relationship. It wasn't like they had a close enough connection that it would have been
It's not
like
like they were
we need to
pals
stay together.
beforehand.
Right.
No, like
Their lives weren't mingled other than he worked for him.
it just it fell flat in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
A lot of ways. And that was a good one of them. Like
Mhm.
it just
Yeah.
I can't
So,
explain it, but my face says it.
yeah.
Guys, go watch us on YouTube. I'm
Yeah.
making a lot of faces this episode.
Yeah. It just didn't work.
It's just
Before I ask the last question, I just want to say, not the Taylor Swift Black Dog leaving your location shared. I know this book came out before Taylor's new album with the Black Dog, but
I
the
know.
whole reason that Jonathan found Sam was because he still had his location
Location
shared.
on.
And I was just like, no.
Okay.
By the way, I am not an Apple user, so the location shared thing, like, it works differently
Mm,
for non-Apple users.
yeah.
So if I share my location, it doesn't move with me.
Oh, see, mine does. Ours does.
It shares
I
a drop point, and then you have to reshare it again. So
Oh, ours continuously shares. So I know where my kids are all the time.
that's
All the
almost worth
time.
switching to Apple.
All the time. I know where the girls are all the time. Liv's phone's not as great about updating as Piper's is with the location,
Now,
but
maybe if we had an app to share location, but what we
um
are using is like Google
yeah,
Maps.
so I have a Piper has a boy now, and his dad suggested Life 360, and he
Yes.
uses that, and I've heard really good things about that. I believe the Eds used to use Life 360.
My
Um,
kids don't have phones yet, but we are talking about getting a phone for the house,
mm,
even if it's like a burner phone,
yeah.
because boys are old enough to, well, James is old enough to stay home by himself now, and I just don't
Well,
want him to without phone.
we started around that age too,
Mhm.
and we got like a cheapy flip phone
Yeah,
and put minutes on it.
that's
Like
what I was telling Tom we should do. Let's
Verizon
just
let
get,
us
yep.
Verizon let us put a cheapy burner phone, and what we would do is like Piper started doing like stuff outside of the house
Mm-hmm.
without us at that age, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we throw that thing in there just in case. She knew how to
Yep.
turn it on. The numbers that were in it back then were mine, Matt's, because her parent Matt's mom was still down there. So Matt's mom and Alyssa.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody got a phone call from that number, they knew it was Piper. We better get moving, right?
Right.
Because so
That's what we're talking about doing too.
yeah. So put my number
Sorry, that
in.
was like way off track.
Totally
But
off track. But
final thoughts.
final thoughts. This is a solid 3. This story, he
Yeah.
is an excellent writer. He knows what he's writing. He knows
This
his
is not
topic.
proof that he's an excellent writer, though.
No, that's the thing.
This
Like,
concept was flawed from the beginning.
oh, excuse me. It just feels lacking. It's
Mm-hmm.
like going to your favorite restaurant and you're ordering your favorite meal and it's missing one keynote flavor in the
Yeah,
meal. And you're like sitting there going, this was fine, but what's it missing?
yeah,
And you're just sitting there trying to figure out why your meal tastes off the rest of the day.
right. Yeah, I'm disappointed in it, but that doesn't mean I won't read him again. To me,
Same.
even though he's written a lot more books, this feels like the sophomore slump to me
It
because
does.
Boyfriend Material was his first like real like
This,
hit.
if, like I said, if his name wasn't on
Hmm.
this would feel like a new author to me. And
It's a
I'd be like,
very out there concept compared to what his other books are.
I bet I could write it better. I just don't want to.
Okay,
I don't want to.
fair enough.
I've
All right,
been,
do you want
nope,
to talk about what we're doing for the rest of this month?
please.
All right, so next week we're reading this book, Big Swiss by Jen Began.
Okay, so this is a Venn diagram of pretentious and weird. Okay, you know how like there's weird books and there's pretentious books? This is where they meet. And that's where Big
I
Swiss is,
didn't think this
guys.
book was pretentious.
There are so many pretentious big kid words in there. They're
Yeah.
overlapping. No, not for April. Okay, we'll talk about it next week.
And then we're going to end the month with The Celebrants by Stephen Rowley.
I'm
And
so excited.
we read The Guncle for our first Pride as well in 2022, season 2. And I am halfway through this one and quite enjoying it. So I
Are
can't
you?
wait. I can't wait to
Yay.
talk about it. It's good. I'm listening to the audiobook because he once again narrates and
God, I
his
love
voice
when
is
he
so
does that.
perfect. Huh?
I love when he does that.
I don't always like it when an author does that, but like
Him and
he
Travis
has,
Baldry can read
yeah,
their own books. I'm good with those two. Nobody else is allowed to do it.
Him with who?
Travis Baldree, who
Yeah.
did
Yeah. Legends and Lattes.
Legends
But
and
he
Lattes.
was an audiobook narrator before he wrote
Exactly,
Legends and
that's why he's
Lattes.
allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Other
I
everybody other than that, no.
Or if you write a memoir, you can narrate it because I prefer
Fine.
that.
Fine. Except for the Britney Spears one. I'm glad Michelle Williams did that.
I probably will never read it, so I don't really care.
It was sad.
But all right, so that will be the end of Pride Month, the end of June, and the end of the season.
Hot damn. So
So
we got go
we
ahead.
Smut Girl Summer starts in June, so we are starting that now.
I'm ready.
So check social media. We'll post. Katie and I will post like our things. We have a whole season, our whole summer already planned out.
She does.
And I'm currently reading a book that's not for pod or for Smut Girl Summer. So
Atta girl.
I don't know what I'm
I
doing with my
have
life.
been researching
Mm-hmm.
death row inmates.
That sounds fun.
It's depressing.
I imagine.
It's depressing. But this book is going well. I have broken it down to 3 acts. I pretty much have my beginning and my ending. I just kind of have to fill the middle, and
Yeah.
I am freaking out because I actually am going to have a first draft by the end of the summer, and I'm panicking.
I'm so excited for you.
Nope.
I have to
This
read a
is
friend of mine's book this summer. I'm supposed to be beta reading for him, and I've read the first 2
nice.
chapters, and I've had the book for like a year.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Get on that.
Well, I was supposed to read it when I was off for surgery, and then I didn't have surgery, so I did
So,
tell him that I will read it this summer.
but you have time this summer.
I should. I should have
Yeah.
time this summer. We're normally really busy for summer reading, but my library is going through some renovations, and so I'm not doing a lot of
Nope.
programming this summer.
Nope.
So
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Ready?
What?
I'm being a child.
Great. Okay, so listen, season 7.
We are not joking, guys. Catch up on your reading. Make sure all your summer reading is done, that
Yeah.
your TBR is cleared, because when September comes,
You're gonna want to start reading in August. You're gonna want to start
also,
reading along with us in August.
also pay attention to our social medias,
Mm-hmm.
because things will be going up. Things are going to be happening. There may be events.
There may be events. And our website, there is a tab on our website. There's a page called Read Along. And I always have at least a month's worth of books listed there. So that's always a great place to figure out what we're reading as
100%.
well. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to see you this summer.
I know, I'm so excited.
I'm going to see you this summer, and I'm going to see Katie this summer. It's just like crazy. I'm excited.
We just saw each other too, so yay.
I know. Look at us getting to see each other twice in a year.
Holy damn.
I know. Well, that's it. We'll see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on Book Besties. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The views discussed here are those of April and Molly, not those of anyone else. Today's book was 10 Things That Never Happened by Alexis Hall. Your book besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins, editing by Thomas Watkins, and music is Sleep Sweetly by Prigida. Don't forget to follow the Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you'd like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com or visit our website, bookbestiespodcast.com. Until next time, besties, get lost in your favorite book.